Non-Stop Rock Talk with Tyson Bryden.
Welcome to Non-Stop Rock Talk. I am your host, Tyson Bryden. On today's show, from the band Ten Ton Mojo, please welcome Dave Anthony. Dave, how's it going, man?
Not too bad. How you doing, Tyson? Thanks for having me on.
No problem, and I'm doing well. I mean, I'm up in Toronto, and it's fall now, and it's getting a bit cooler, and I'm sure it's the same in where you are, which is New York City, outside of New York. So,
yep, it's definitely the leaves are starting to change around here. We're just hitting our foliage, and I'm gonna say you guys still got some fall classic baseball going on.
We do. You don't hate us too much, do you? Are you Yankees?
I'm Mets, so you're safe.
Okay, so we're good. And I'm sorry about their season, to be honest with you. I mean,
dude, what a train wreck. I mean, that's not anyone's fault but our own. It was just, yeah, some terrible baseball we played with the highest payroll in sports.
I know, and you would think with having, signing Juan Soto would be, we're there, we're going to be there, but that's sports, right?
Yeah, he played great. It was, just the rest of them, but yeah, is what it is. There's always next year.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I'm a Leafs fan for hockey, and that's what we say every year since 1967. There's always next year.
That's where I can get a little upset. You guys stole Tavares, and that one hurt us a lot.
Well, yes, it did. And I mean, and it's funny, the town I actually live in, which is Oshawa, Tavares played junior here for the Oshawa Generals. So we had him here for 3 or 4 years before the Islanders drafted him.
Oh, wow. That's right. Yeah. I forgot about that. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And literally it is like 5 minutes from here where he formerly played, which was cool.
That is cool.
And it was funny because I've only seen him play for the Gens one game, and he scored 4 goals.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, he's a great player. I still got his last year he played. I got his little starting lineup thing. I have it unopened up on the shelf for me. So I figured, hopefully he keeps churning out great games, and he'll be a Hall of Famer. That'll be worth something one day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he re-signed here in the off season, which we're happy about. I mean, he's from Toronto, so but he's a classy guy. Like I know he ripped the hearts of the fans in Long Island, when he left and he signed with the Leafs. But we do really love him here, and he's I guess you could say he's kind of a big deal here. I mean, there's Austin Matthews, but Tavares is just as important.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. I'm not, nothing about his personality, just what he did to the team.
Oh, I know. It was just heartbreaking because he was the face of the franchise more or less when he left, right? And it was good for us, but I'm sure there are fans that felt bad for that. And that's sports, right?
It is. It's the age of free agency. This is, it's a different realm, I guess, we're in now without players kind of sticking around forever. I remember when I was a kid, it never really happened. And then like the 90s hit, and all of a sudden everybody's moving around,
Exactly. Like Mike Bossy was an Islander for his career, and Brian Trottier wasn't. He played for the Penguins,
right.
but I think Dennis Potvin too, like that. Going back to that amazing Islanders team that won 4 cups. So yeah, and that was the age where guys stayed with the team forever, and unfortunately that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, we are happy with the Blue Jays that Vladimir Guerrero has signed for 14 years, so that's kind of a nice thing.
Yeah.
He's kind of going to be there, right?
Vlad's amazing. That's a great player to hold on to 100%. He's awesome, and he really does speak like the franchise, and it's kind of legacy too with his father as well,
Yeah, which is amazing. And the fans, they love him because he is such a character. Like he's got character, and he's always smiling, and he's always, that's the kind of guy you want for the face of your franchise, I think. Especially in today's age too, right? With
100%. I agree.
Anyways, I got off topic. We were talking sports. It's going to be a
sports radio talk.
It's sports rock talk. and you know what? It's funny though, because you mentioned that. I just interviewed a guy in Sweden on Monday, and we got talking about hockey at the end of the show. So twice this week I've talked about hockey on my show, which I don't mind.
It comes up.
So, it does, exactly. Okay, so now a little bit of back history on Ten Ton Mojo. As I mentioned, you're based in New York City. Now, I believe your first self-titled release came out in 2013. Is that correct?
That's correct. I wasn't part of the band back then, so if you notice, there's a different singer on those I believe 12 tracks, and that was this guy Ernie. He was a great singer. I actually have seen him. He came to a show when we played down in Florida because he moved down to Florida. But that was prior to my tenure in the band. I joined in 2019, so everything posed that. That's why there's a kind of a gap in the music there.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah. Okay. So there is a bit of a gap from music being released. You've got this album 2013, and then if you go on to the streaming sites and look, I had a little bit of confusing because I'm like, am I missing something? Is something not on here? But okay, so you've clarified the fact that there was this gap, and then after that point, you've kind of released a lot of music since then. There's a lot of singles. Now, has there been a full length release? There was an EP, right? Correct?
Yes, we did right now we're pushing the single Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul, but prior to that we had an EP called Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul, which we now link to the whole CD. It kind of has become 5 songs on the CD now, but the original EP was just 4 songs without the single Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul called Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul. Kind of confusing, almost like a Doors Waiting for the Sun type of thing, but
I like that. That's cool.
We mostly had singles out there. During the pandemic, we saw that. And in general is kind of the way of flowing things now. People want things now. They want to see things immediately. So kind of getting the single out there is a good way to do that. Boost things up, boost the Spotify, the media base ratings. And it worked out really well for us. But we did release a full-length live album just recently. Yes. I think it was May of this year or April. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, it says this year.
Yeah.
So I listened to that album today. I listened to the whole thing.
Nice.
And loved it.
Oh, awesome.
You guys sound great. By the way, man, you guys are a killer band. Killer live band.
We pride ourselves on playing, live the same way we do on the album. So thank you. That's really what we are. We're a live band. We want people to listen to the music, but definitely come out to the shows.
Yeah, and I do have a question about that. So the last track is High Forever. The question I have is, did the person come with the joint at the end of the show? They
did. So we had this giant blown up what do you call them? Rolling papers, excuse me. And, I threw that out into the crowd, and, you can hear it on there. Anybody who comes up gets some sick merch. And, yes, we did have, it was a woman, I believe, that came up with it and, hooked them up with some stuff when they got there.
I love that. I loved how you guys did that. I mean, that was really cool. We're going to hook you up with some merch, and I'm sure they loved that.
Oh, it was, people were, from what I was told, I didn't see where it went, because it was in a dark spot into the crowd, but from what I was told, people were fighting over it.
Right. So where was that album recorded?
That was live at Gramercy Theater in New York City. It's pretty decent sized theater. It's an old converted movie theater. Wow. It's pretty cool.
Wow. I mean, it's got an ambiance in the music, the way it sounds. There's one track on it that I was listening to, and forgive me because I don't know all the titles off by heart because I just had to listen to it today. But there's one part I'm like, this sounds like Pat Travers almost.
Oh.
It's got that, which I thought was so cool.
Thank you. So we actually cover a Pat Travers song, Snortin' Whiskey. We cover that song when we need a cover or so. That's just kind of one of the ones that, and Just Got Paid are the ones we've been kind of playing recently. But there's definitely a Pat Travers feel in the band. We it's like a northern blues, southern rock kind of feel. We like to call ourselves the new classic rock.
Yeah, which I loved. And there was a couple of the other singles I listened to today, which again, those names escape me. And I was just listening to the guitar tone, for instance. I think it was one of the singles from maybe 2021 or 23. And I was like, they nailed that traditional 70s guitar tone, which a lot of times like a band can sound 70s, sound classic rock, but they just don't nail it enough, where you guys were that guitar tone it hit me. I was like, that's beautiful.
I mean, you check out, and thank you so much. I mean, our guitar players would definitely, be grinning from ear to ear hearing that. But yeah, we got all old school gear. I mean, vintage Gibsons. We got Marshall cabinets, JCMs. They're a lot of their pedals are vintage too. So it's that tone is definitely something they take a massive pride on and are working on it even every day. I know Scott just got a new, they always, the wah pedals of today aren't quite up to par of the ones of yesteryear. And he got a nice vintage one that, it's just, it's fantastic. It sounds great.
And it's funny that you mention that because like I'm a guitar player as well. And don't laugh at me, but I play in a Bon Jovi tribute band.
Oh, that's great, man. Bon Jovi rocks.
Yeah. So anyways, the talk box. So I have this talk box I've had for about 20 years, but I'm always interested in asking other guys. I'm like, okay, because it's got the sound and it's cool. And if you have the right sound guy, it sounds amazing. There's a sound guy in Toronto. His name's Jake, and I'm going to give him a plug because he's one of my favorite sound guys. He gets it. Like he nails it and he gets the tone right because it's got to have bottom end and it's got to have some balls to it, more or less, right? But I'm always interested. I'm like, I would love to build one like they did in the like the 70s, like the Peter Frampton type of thing, that were the guys that they actually built them, and that's kind of on my list of things to do one day. If I ever get around to
Talkbox is awesome. I think we did use them on one of the I think the last album. We are privileged to be able to go to an awesome studio, SST in Weehawken, New Jersey, which is it's the old Record Plant Studios. So there's a lot of really old vintage stuff there.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's like the thing that honestly, out of everything, and there's some great stuff there, but it doesn't look like much, but it's big, it's huge. It's a analog reverb, which is like unheard of nowadays. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure John Lennon recorded out of it, and many, many other greats, because this was around during their time, and it was part of Record Plant at the time. So I mean, not only is the history great out of it, but the sound is just it's second to none. You can't match it. So
when you guys record, are you actually recording in analog? Are you guys using 2-inch tape?
We're not using tape, no, but we are. We're recording live. We've actually, the last bunch we've done, I think, since Carmelita. Although Bad Love, we had a separate producer, this guy Matt Starr. But other than that, from Carmelita on, we had Max Norman, who was.
I was going to ask you about Max.
I mean, Max Norman's he needs no introduction, I guess, himself. But that he's a lot of the reason for a lot of the great sound on there as well. So I wanted to credit him and drop his name as well.
Well, we were going to talk about Max because I love a lot of Max Norman's productions. And this show is almost becoming a Max Norman thing because in the last month, I have interviewed one of the guys from Dirty Looks and a guy named David Reese, who is in Bangalore Choir, and Max did albums for them. And I've had George Lynch on too and talked about Max. So it always seems like his name comes up a lot, which I think some of his production doesn't get enough credit. I mean, everybody knows the Ozzy stuff, of course, with Randy.
Right, yeah.
But there's other things like that Lynch Mob album he did. Sonically, it's got a great sonically. It sounds amazing, and there's some great production on it. So
we like to think he's got great taste.
I think he does. Absolutely.
I mean, we're honored to be part of the many, many, many great things he has produced.
So how did you end up working with him?
He came across. We met him in the city. Actually, he was at a show and started talking us up. I think he was talking to Scott, and we ended up that we came down to a practice, and when we were practicing at Rivington, and that was pretty much where it happened. He just started talking. He's like, okay, let's make an album, gentlemen. And just like, well, in his English voice that I can't do, which is great. Right. I love it. But, we ended up actually going out for drinks that night. And I no longer drink. At the time I did. And I was the last one drinking. Max can put him down, man. Or at least he used to be able to, like I used to be able to. And,
I know the feeling.
At the end of the night,
I'm the same.
It was just me and him. The rest of the guys were down. I remember Christian, he can put him down too. He was, you got to take this one with Max on your own. I'm like, all right. went shot for shot. It was it. But I walked out of there. I mean, I remember me and Christian on the subway after that. It was, we were holding each other up. But it was, it was literally breaking the glass, to honor a new venture in music, I guess, for both of us. It was, it was one of the most memorable nights of my life, because after that, we used Max. We still continue to use Max. He's going to come in on the next album, or EP, I think, is what we're rolling with on the next. But yeah.
Well, if you ever do talk to, like, you're going to talk to him again, just tell him that the show that you did this show, and that he gets brought up a lot.
I definitely will. I'll make sure he's aware of it. I'll tell him to check it out. You got a lot of fans in Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, let's talk about the latest single, which you did mention, Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul. From your perspective, besides what you've already kind of mentioned about it, but what can you say about this song?
It's definitely an upbeat, be free, be who you are kind of song. Essentially just coming back, like the rebel heart, literally right in the chorus, it's like, have a rebel heart, have a gypsy soul. It's basically like all encompassing, have a love for rock and roll, bringing it back. Essentially just a good feel good tune.
When I've listened to it, I put it on, and then it was done, and I had to listen to it again, and then had to listen to it again. It's a great song. I was listening to it, I was like, okay, I can't put my thumb on this, and then I thought Grand Funk. It's got that like Grand Funk type of vibe to it, like American. What's the name of that song? Why is that escaping me?
American Band.
American Band. Not that it sounds like American Band, but it's that type of feel, that energy, that happiness, that song makes you happy. And I think this song is kind of in line with that.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I can't say Grand Funk came up when we were talking about it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It absolutely does have that kind of driving feel about it. It's infectiously putting happy vibes kind of in. Yeah.
Yeah, which I love. And I mean, that's one of the things that classic rock was all about, was, there's so many great classic 70s songs that just, make you feel good, and they just have the right feel, and so many bands from the 70s. And I love the fact when I first heard this song, I was like, yeah, this has got that. That's what that is. And I want to hear more of this. I wish rock radio was playing a lot of new music like that. Like, that's the way it should be. It's rock radio.
Supposed to be, right? It's an interesting day and age for the original band. I got to say that we're a bit of an anomaly. Not that there aren't many that are still doing it, but it's definitely seems like less. It seems far more like a like your band. Like it's more of a tribute band, like Home, which is back in the day that was way less of what was like. So I don't, like you're saying, way less of what was on radio. Now it seems more spun around a bit.
Yeah, and I wonder, I was like, don't people want to rock out anymore? Because like a lot of people don't listen to rock music.
It's definitely gotten tougher. I mean, I got to say, I'm blessed to be in this band, and I love these guys, and I love the music we're putting out, and I think that's part of what it is there's lots of different competitions out there, not just music anymore, for people to come out and see shows, so that can be part of it. But I guess, I don't know if it's whether the quality has gone down, because I mean, I definitely have known some great bands that just never got found, but I think you need a lot of the pieces of the puzzle, and without labels nowadays, it's kind of tough. Bands and musicians aren't really always the best business people. So, I mean, it really kind of takes, a thought-provoked band, ones that are a little more business-oriented, or at least thinking that way on some ends. It's good to have multiple people with multiple skills in a band. I'd say in this day and age, it's like an all hands on deck effort.
Totally, exactly. And you have to be really smart about it. Even like for us as a tribute band, it can be tough, because you have one really amazing show, and then the next town you go to, maybe it's there's not the they don't promote it as well or something like that. And then you're like, oh, well, what's going on? Do people not like Bon Jovi anymore? But it's not always the case. A lot of it is if, sometimes you put your hands in someone else's hand, you put your band in someone else's hands, and you're hoping that they're going to do something for you, and then it doesn't happen. And you're like, oh, and then you hope for then the next show you come in and the crowds are there again. So I think everything in live music is you have to work hard.
Yeah, no, 100%. Look, whether there's 10 people in the room or, 1,000 or 2,000, whatever it is, you gotta rock it out. And
that's right.
I gotta say, I mean, sometimes, we do a lot of that now, putting our hands into like another band, basically, like this, we're main support basically is what we're really doing a lot of, like the direct support role. Which we're actually doing our next show on November 6th. We're doing this for this band Parker Barrow at Debonair Music Hall in Teaneck, New Jersey. But we've opened for them before, and they had a nice crowd out in Maryland. We played a couple times out there already, so we're starting to build a fan base out there too at this place live at Hub City Vinyl. So this will be our second show with them. But I've known shows that we played, and I don't want to call out any ones that didn't have a good crowd, but they were pretty big bands. Had some huge hits, and we played a show with them upstate New York, and the place was not, for the size of the venue, it was not very packed. And I gotta say, that was one of our best nights in merch. We really made a ton of fans that night. We sold, I think, just about everybody in the room, because they didn't bring a merch booth. They were red-eyeing it right out to another show. And we were the only show in town for that. And I mean, we cleaned up that night. It was incredible. I think every single person that was there bought a piece of merch, which is like that kind of ratio is like never happens. It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's amazing. I mean, good. At least that worked out and in that part of it. You guys have opened up for a lot of artists and bands. Like I was looking at the list was Ace Frehley one of them?
Ace Frehley was one of them. I was, just because of what happened recently, I was thinking, wow, how amazing it is that, we got to open for him and, see him. And it was pretty cool, it sucks what happened to him, but it was pretty cool that we were able to be support for him. And that was at Starland Ballroom in May. I think it was May 2nd, I believe, of this year.
Of this year?
So it was his last tour. So it was pretty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we felt very, after everything that happened, we were like, wow, we really, that's a memorable thing. It would have been memorable regardless. I mean, I remember a Kiss, but, it was near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah, you would have. I mean, obviously, you would never imagine in 6 months' time that Ace wouldn't be with us anymore. Like, that's crazy. I had some insider information on it. I know someone that was, he worked for Sony, and he told me the family had said that it wasn't good for a while. That's why they were like canceling shows and stuff. We just, as the public, didn't know that. We didn't know. And I guess eventually, it was just time to pull the plug. But, it's unfortunate, something like that. You think like, your older generation rock stars that like, it's like something else is going to happen. Oh, this or that, or, even tragedy with drugs, but not like a slip and fall like that. It was just terrible, Yeah. And I mean, I read something the other day that someone had said, we thought Ace was going to live forever because he's Ace. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like Ozzy. I was just going to say, we're talking about Ozzy. That's another one you never thought was going to go, I mean, it was just like, he's going to get older, but he's not going to go away, like. No, I know. And that's just it. And I mean, we lost two really influential rock and roll stars this year. Like, and to me, that's just crazy. Yeah, it seems like every year there's always a few that are, really awesome ones that are going. That's just terrible. I remember trying to think of actually who it was right now, and it was just in my head, and I can't. Bowie, and I never got a chance to see a Bowie show, which right. It's actually just unfortunate, and I liked a lot of his music, so. Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, I was thinking back to Ace too, and getting back to Ace. I only got to see him once, and that was on the Kiss reunion in '96. At least I got to see him, but I had bought tickets. I think I bought tickets or to see Ace solo. And I was like, oh, he'll come back around. And maybe I didn't buy the tickets, and I was like, oh, he'll be around next time. And I'm not sure if he ever came back to Toronto after that. And now here I am. I'm like, man, I wish I went.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can always coulda, shoulda, woulda everything. I mean, I would say be happy you were able to. That was actually my first time able to ever even see Ace, so I was super happy. That I got it in there before anything, or before he passed away.
Yeah. And it was funny, like I bought his latest album, which I think was 10,000 Volts, and I only probably listened to it a couple times, and then I have so much vinyl and so much music I listen to all the time, so I'm gonna actually have to get out and put like a bunch of Ace on again, because we're never gonna hear new music from him again.
No, it's always a reminder too, like for me to get out to shows and see stuff. Also remind people to come see our band before anything happens to us.
Right. Well, and I can attest to it to my listeners that, I mean, after hearing that live album, I'm like, listen to that live album. Please go on your streaming site. You know what? We should name it. It's All Access Live. Is that what it's called?
All Access Live. Yeah. All Access Live for Gramercy Theater. But yeah, it's that is the title.
And it's a killer album. So I was going to ask you, you are wearing an MTV shirt. I didn't notice that until about halfway through.
Yeah.
And it seems this stuff has been coming up on my show a lot, is about stuff from back in the 80s, and how I interviewed a guy yesterday from Electric Boys, a Swedish band, and he was telling me that one of their songs, Lips and Hips, got popular strictly because of MTV, and those were the days where video was so important.
Oh, wow. That's all. Yeah. I mean, it's still pretty important. I got to say, the songs that we make videos for tend to do a little better
on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, Easy Come, Easy Go did fantastic for us with like very little push. And that was like that's from the single Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul from the EP Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul, for the 4-song EP.
Yeah.
And that was the single for that one. That one did pretty well, and then we did one for The Hurt on that one, and that also did very well. But it took off with Easy Come, Easy Go. I mean, it was incredible how fast, we're like, oh my God, is this going to go viral and whatnot? It definitely helps. So it got good numbers on Spotify. The numbers ended up being a little less than the other 4 on Spotify because the video did so well.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. My streaming site I use is Deezer. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I am.
All your stuff is on.
I didn't even know. You're the first person I've known that actually uses Deezer. Like, I kept mentioning it when we were being released, because we are on Deezer. The only thing I think we're not on is like Pandora. But I mentioned Deezer a lot because it was one of the ones mentioned. And I'm like, a lot of the interviews I'd be like, oh, we're on this, that. And, I'm like, Deezer, I don't know what that is. So you're the first person I've ever heard that's mentioned Deezer.
Well, the reason I switched to Deezer, I was on Amazon Music for years, because when I looked at my numbers on my podcast, my numbers were the highest on Deezer for streaming. So, which means, and I think it's more of a European thing.
Okay.
So I guess I'm kind of bigger in Europe. I don't know.
Hey, that's awesome. I hope we're bigger in Europe so we can go over there.
Exactly. So I started using it, and then I came to find that there's a lot more, like a lot of the bands, obscure bands that I listen to, they have more on Deezer of like albums that aren't available on other streaming sites. So that's why I love it. And they also have like live shows from like 80s bands like Y&T, for instance, that all the other streaming sites don't have. Like they have concerts from like King Biscuit Hour, and they'll on in their formatting, which is kind of cool. So you're getting like even more. You're getting obscure stuff.
Yeah, no, it's. I gotta say, I have no experience with it, but that sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to check out Deezer myself. I probably should have mentioned it so much already. I just haven't gotten around to it, but I'll have to download the Deezer app.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think I've been using it for almost about a year, and I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, some stuff isn't on there, but I mean, there's some albums that aren't on any streaming sites, right? So,
do you have to pay for Deezer like Spotify or no?
I do, but I think it's I think it cost me $8 Canadian
that's
a
not
month
bad.
or something like that, or maybe it's $12. It's not expensive.
Cheaper than my Spotify account, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean all of those just keep going up in price, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Spotify went up for artists' royalties. We didn't see any of that.
And they, you know what, and that is a thing with me, is that I have such a, you're kind of at there, you know, you want your music out there, you want it played, but the artist should be paid.
Hey, I'm with you 100%.
I mean, for me, it's like, I always look at it as like, you wouldn't go to work for free.
Right. Well, it's the music nowadays is not nearly what it used to be as far as the royalties. You're really basically, advertising yourself for the most part. I mean, we get some royalties on it, like we're on the radio and the streaming, not as much, but the radio we get a little bit more for. But and then Sirius, you actually get a decent amount because they're like syndicated on a few different stations.
Oh, I was curious about Sirius, how that, I never asked that question. I always wondered how.
Sirius, you do, yeah, because it's usually multiple networks. It's not just their own one network of Sirius. It's like, they work with other radio stations. So it's like you're getting kind of multiple royalties. So Sirius is actually pretty good.
Okay. That is awesome. That's good to know. So like, say for instance, like a station like Ozzy's Boneyard or Hair Nation, like those bands that were kind of obscure, but they play on there. So they would actually they're getting paid.
Yeah. Actually, we know,
that's great.
We're pretty tight with Tommy London from Hair Nation.
Oh, are you? Cool. That's cool. Right on. He's the guy dating the girl from Vixen, right?
Yes. Yep. That's Tom. He was from the city. I think he's originally from Philly. I'm not positive, but he was in the city. He was a big part of the city scene, Lower East Side, and he moved out to LA now. So he's doing shows out there. We're actually talking about hooking up with a show with him out there.
Oh, cool. He's great.
Oh, he's the best.
He's awesome.
We love him.
Yeah, he's cool. He keeps it. I mean, he's very, what do you put? He's got a lot of positive energy. Like, he's positive.
He is.
When you listen to him, right? Which is great. So, well, Dave, before I let you go, maybe you can tell me, I mean, you mentioned the show in November. So up to the end of the year, into next year, what is kind of the plan for the band?
So that's the only scheduled show we have right now. In December, we usually kind of cut off. Our bass player, Kenny, actually does sound for Jingle Ball. So he'll be away. If we do have some big show come up, we would have like a sub fill in for him if that's the case, which has been the case. Like last year we played for Quiet Riot up in Utica.
Cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's very cool.
But so right now we're actually really hard at work trying to write new stuff. So we were actually doing pretty well on it. We're trying to get the full EP together. We're pitching and we're basically just really working really hard on this album. I know like it's one that we want to make sure that hits home harder than the last EP. So we want people to really turn some heads, and we're hoping it opens some doors for us as well.
Cool. So everything I assume is on streaming. Is there any physical copies of anything?
There is. No, we have physical copies of just about everything. So
Okay,
all
cool.
the like singles that we have, we put them together on like little 4-song EPs, like for on the table.
Okay.
They'll have the artwork of like whatever, I guess like the biggest song is kind of on it, and that'll be on the front. And so like, for instance, Bad Love was one of them. I think Carmelita was another one of them. And, we have the Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul CD. And then we also, with the new single out now, we've combined that with the Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul CD and made that a 5-song EP.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's good to know. It's funny online because it's difficult because even if you pull up your albums, it only shows the 2013 one, the live one. And I think there was another thing on there, and then you go into the streaming and it's like, okay, I'm trying to be as accurate as I can, and I'm like, this isn't helping me at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it worked over on Deezer. I know on Spotify it'll actually list them all. If you click like show all, it'll show actually all of them. On Spotify's, we're on, like, I think, you already mentioned Deezer, but we're on Spotify, YouTube. Got a bunch of videos on YouTube as well as just, you can listen to the songs on some of them that don't have a video. Amazon, Apple Music, all pretty much every streaming network, like I said, besides Pandora. But yeah, I know Amazon, you can see listed all of the albums.
You can see it listed.
Yeah.
Now, is that live album available on physical copy? Or
Yes, it is. We have that as a physical copy as well. We also got vinyl for...
Oh,
for Easy Come, Easy Go, we had that as the single. Like I said, The Hurt was the B-side. So we got that on. It's like a really cool looking orange vinyl. I love it.
No.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a 45.
Cool. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. So where would I find this? Do you guys only sell it at your shows?
No, you can go to www.tentonmojo.com and you can click on, we got a whole, thing at the top of the page, click on the merchandise. We got a whole awesome line of merchandise. We got hoodies, we got shirts, we got multiple hoodies, we got multiple shirts. We got 2 different logos, one with the eagle print, 10 Ton Mojo, and then they got that skull, Santeria skull, which was actually designed by... Oh, man, it's escaping me right now. He's going to kill me. Phil Yarnell,
Okay.
Who actually also helped design in conjunction with our art director, Kyle Brower. We have a brand new beer out, which was just released 2 weeks ago at this place, Apex Brewery in Monroe, New York. It's called the Rebel Heart IPA after our single Rebel Heart Gypsy Soul.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you don't drink, so you haven't even tried it.
I swished it around in my mouth. I had to know what the product was. I used to drink, and IPAs were something I loved, but I haven't drank. Actually, I celebrated my 13-year anniversary on the 16th, so I swished it around in my mouth, spit it out, which upset a bunch of people, actually. They're like, you sure you're all right with that? I was like, I'm fine with it. I was like, when it comes to drinking, it's your choice not to drink or not. And if you want to not drink, you're going to not, you're going to not drink. And it wasn't a day of test for me, so I didn't have any issue on that. If it was something where I was under major stress or something, I was thinking about it, I don't think I would have done that. But I just wanted to know, be able to tell people it's an excellent product, and it is. It's, the taste is great, and the 2 guitar players drink it themselves, and they love it.
Cool. I commend you for 13 years because I am 15, almost 16 months, something like that, 15 months since I haven't drank either. So I commend you for 13 years.
I'm 3 years. If I said 13, I missed
3 years.
That. Yeah,
I thought you said,
yeah.
Okay.
But still, I still thank you for very much. It's definitely, the initial was hard, and congratulations to you too, man. That's nothing. It just keeps getting better all the time.
And it does. And I agree with you for, it has been life-changing for me, to be honest with you.
Same.
Life-changing.
It's been great for me on stage and off stage. It's been huge.
Yeah, even the guys in my band say we're glad that not that I was a problem, but just my focus is a lot better.
Yeah, my connection with the audience has gotten better. Remembering lyrics is better. Not that I was really terrible, but I've definitely felt the difference, just hitting notes better. I'm more focused on myself with stuff, doing my vocal exercises, all that stuff.
Yeah. The singer in the band actually told me, he's like, you're 100% better. He's like, it's not that you weren't great, but now you're on a different level now with your playing because of that focus, right? And I never would have imagined that in a million years.
Same. I always thought I needed it for the stage, and who knew I didn't?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome. Well, anyways, Dave, thank you so much. And is there anything else you'd like to add before I let you go?
I think that's it. Just make sure you check out 10 Ton Mojo on your favorite streaming network, and definitely at the local show that's nearby you.
Okay, cool, man. Well, thank you so much, and hopefully we'll get to talk again.
Thank you, Tyson. It's been great.
Okay, man. Thanks so much. Take care.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.